Friday, boom, there we go. So what we're gonna do today is I took your student questionnaire, those questions that you filled out, that very last one where I said, what questions do you have about me, about the class, this, that, or the other. I took those, I wrote them down because I wanted to make this as much like real class as possible. So if we were if we were physically in class, what we would do is I'd give you a little scrap sheet of paper. You would write down your question, you would fold it up, you put it in a hat, and then I'd draw them out, and we'd just, kind of go with the flow. So that's what we're gonna do today. I have seen these questions, so it's not as unpredictable as it usually is, but I'm drawing them out at random. So I've got them in here, as you can see. I'm gonna shuffle it up, I'm gonna pick one out, and then we're just gonna run through them. All right, so first one, let's see what we got. So first question, how much writing and typing are we going to do? So that's a good question. So, in terms of actual output, how much work you're going to do in terms of writing, in terms of typing, it's kind of in the air a little bit right now. Typically I'm big on writing. Because that is where you actually put down your own thoughts and can use those thoughts to try and get a point across. Writing is the reason why there's been so many advancements in the past 2,000 years. That's the reason why we don't burn books, is because there's something more about writing. There's something to it. That kind of gets into the human psyche. So, we are going to do some writing. Obviously, since we're not physically in school, there's going to be a lot more typing. But in terms of how much, that's kind of a hard question to answer. But just be ready. I'll go ahead and forewarn you. We are going to write a decent amount, and I think that's the best way we learn. All right, let's look at the next one. So, all right, next question. Will we learn anything odd about history? Yeah, definitely. History's filled with oddities. Think about today's world. The oddities of today. What you see that happens in the world today that may be out of place or different or strange. History's filled with those. Because the same people today, they're not the same people of yesterday or the same people of the past, physically, people haven't changed that much. People are relatively the same. The only thing that's really changed, at least in my opinion, is just really the access to technology and the inventions that have, made certain things easier. But humans themselves hadn't changed much. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about a lot of little odd things here and there. One of them I'll give you is one president. I'm not gonna tell you who, because I wanna spark some interest, see if you can figure it out. But one of our presidents actually died in office because he ate too many cherries. I guess the science behind that is that there is, I believe, arsenic in cherries, and he ate too many, and he had arsenic poisoning and died. That's pretty odd. Eating too much of a fruit, too much of a good thing, right? Happened. Yeah, I believe it's arsenic. It's gonna bother me. That was on Jeopardy last week. And somebody missed it. Somebody got it right. I believe it had to be arsenic. Yeah, it had to be arsenic. All right. So next, do you still drink 2 energy drinks a day? I'll tell you this. So one of my goals during this whole lockdown, this whole quarantine thing, was to kind of clean up some of my vices. And for 2 months, I didn't drink an energy drink at all. And then, just kind of had a bad day, decided to get one. And, I'm not saying that I drink 2 energy drinks every day again, but I'm definitely back on the wagon. And I don't know. I enjoy them. So part of me is like, well, if you enjoy it, then why quit? Another part of me is like, energy drinks can't be too good for your health. I don't worry about the caffeine though. So most humans, at least like my size, can take up to anywhere from like around 600 milligrams of caffeine a day. Now bangs are 300 milligram, so you drink 2 of those, that's 600. The energy drinks I've been drinking are a little bit lower in caffeine, so I don't really worry about that. I worry about the other stuff that's added to it. So that one's still to be continued a little bit. All right, next. Let's see what we got here. Is your class easy? I like that question because they didn't hide it. They didn't hide it. That's what a lot of people want to know. Like, hey, how hard is your class going to be? Is it going to be easy? Am I going to have to do a lot of work? Can I just kind of, I don't want to say that, bullcrap my way through it? Well, I'll tell you this. This class is as easy as you want to make it. I believe you can make an A in here and it not be very difficult. I mean, honestly, when it comes to high school, especially when it comes to high school, is if you do the work and you give effort, you'll do well. It's simple as that, it really is. If you do the work and you put in effort, which you have to put in effort to do the work, you'll do well. So that can be as easy as hard as you want to make it. I believe personally, if you pay attention, if you really kind of engage and think about how what we're talking about in American history relates to you, I think you'll enjoy it a lot and it won't seem like work. At least that's how history's always been presented to me. And how I've always interacted with it. It never really seems like work. Even all the research and studying that I do, because I am still a student of history, it doesn't really seem like work. It just, it's piqued my interest. And so it's just something I do. I want to learn more about, even things that I already know a decent amount about. So is this class easy? That's up to you. But I hope to make it as interesting and engaging as possible so you don't even feel like you're really doing any work. All right, next. Let's see what we got. All right. Do you give a lot of homework when we were actually in school? No, I don't. I'm not a big homework guy. Here's what I would rather have. Instead of giving you, pages to read and worksheets to complete at home, the way I look at it, I would rather have your undivided attention at school. And let's get as much as we can done. And as much as we can done doesn't mean workload necessarily. It means how much can we come to understand the topic that we're, engaging in discussing. So sometimes if homework's necessary, I'll give it. Usually the only homework you'll have is if you didn't finish something in class, which also, again, if you are engaged, got your undivided full attention in class, you'll rarely ever have homework. That's just the way I like to do things. I'd rather you spend your time away from school doing things that you enjoy. You're only a kid once, but at the same time, if you can it's just all about time management, really. If you take the time that you spend in class and apply it directly to class, well, then you ain't really got nothing to worry about in terms of American history outside of class. But you may find yourself kind of, again, poking around and reading and watching videos on kind of random history stuff. It happens, I promise you, it happens. It may seem crazy, but it happens. All right, next. What do I do in my free time? What do you do? So to me. So in my free time, I'll tell you this. So my usual day, so I'm gonna let you in on a secret. So my gym opened up at the end of May, and I've been to it probably 6 days a week. I like physically exerting myself. If I haven't went for a run, if I haven't lifted, if I haven't mowed the yard, if I hadn't mowed the yard, if I hadn't done something to kind of physically push myself a little bit, I feel like it's a wasted day. So a lot of my daily life centers around fitness in one aspect or another. I also like to read. My goal this year was to read 50 books like throughout the course of the year. I'm a little behind schedule, mainly because I've picked some books that aren't necessarily like quick reads that you kind of have to think through a little bit. I'm still going to keep pushing, but that is something I do enjoy. I don't watch all that much TV. I'd say, working out, reading, spending time with my wife. We like to go out and eat, have a good time. I'm pretty simple. Hang out with my friends. I still have, a lot of the same friends I grew up with. We still, get together at least once every like 2 or 3 weeks and have a good time. So I'm pretty relaxed. I'm pretty laid back. I like to chill, but I also like to push myself a little bit. All right, next. All right, what we got here? Are you Captain America? Yes, I am. I don't know how they knew that. All right, next one. What made you want to become a teacher? What made me want to become a teacher? That's a good question. So I would say one of the big reasons that I have wanted to be involved in history is because my grandmother and my grandfather, when I was growing up, they'd quiz me all the time and teach me, all these great things about American history. We'd go to Washington, D.C. If you haven't been to Washington, D.C., you need to go. Even if you're not like big into history, I love it. I do. It's one of my favorite cities on earth. Not saying I've been all that many places, but it's definitely one of my favorites. When we want to be a teacher, there's certain events in my life that have made me like think about it more. But honestly, I just kind of think I have some of the strengths that go along with some of the abilities and skills and capacities that go along with being a teacher. I like to take information, I like to talk to other people about it. I like to try to, I like to teach. I get along with most people. Those are just, and I can't help but kind of get involved. I don't know. I don't know if teachers are born or if they're made, but I do in a large part believe that I was just kind of born with these certain strengths, and that translates best into teaching. So maybe I was born for it. I don't know, but I do enjoy it. All right, next. Who's your favorite pro baseball team? The Boston Red Sox. I never actually seen them play in person, but that is my favorite team, and not just because they're good now. Like I was a fan like back when Aaron frickin' Boone hit that extra inning home run off Tim Wakefield in the 2003 ALCS to send Boston back home. I was still a fan then, and that was probably one of the, in terms of professional sports, that's probably the most distressed I've ever been. How much work do you give? Enough. I don't give work just to keep you busy. That's a waste of your time. It's a waste of my time. Time's precious. You can't put a price tag on it. I'm not going to do that. I do give enough work that I believe will help you come to understand the topic. So however much that takes. What is your favorite gym day? So right now, the workout routine that I'm on is kind of like it's a 3-day full body. It's called escalating density training. It's very high pace. It's kind of circuit based as well. But in terms of just like body part or lift that I like the most, I love deadlifting. I don't necessarily have the leverages for it, not all that well. I have shorter arms than I do legs, and deadlifting, having long arms definitely helps. But I would say that's probably my favorite lift. All right, next. I'm running out of time. What's with the beard man? I think you have me mistaken. The beard man, I believe he lives in the backwoods of Pennsylvania. The beard man only comes out once a year, and I'm here every day, so I cannot be the beard man. But it's an honest mistake. Last one. What would you be if you weren't a teacher? I would be a stand-up comedian. No, I'm just picking. I would want to do something outside. I'd want to do something maybe in like the parks department, local government. Who knows? That's all the time I've got today. So, hey, I enjoyed it, had a good time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on Monday.